Alright guys, welcome to the video today. So in this video we have some Battlefield 1 gameplay, and I had a few Twitter posts and I mentioned that maybe sometime in the future I'd be making a Battlefield video. I think put it in a few videos in the past, but I hadn't made one yet, and I was on my computer, I was trying to think of video ideas, and then I just suddenly remembered I haven't made a Battlefield video yet. And I've had like a lot of gameplay stored up on my computer, and I wanted to make this video to kind of share with you kind of my opinions on the game. So nowadays there's a lot of games like Call of Duty, you know, a lot of games in general, they're getting more and more complicated, right? There's more and more things to worry about. There's a ton of perks, attachments, camos, all that stuff, and it makes the game very complicated. And the thing that I love so much about Battlefield is just how simple it is. And Battlefield in the past has kind of had the same thing. There's so many different like grips and attachments and stuff you can choose from, and things got a little bit complicated, and there's so many weapons. But for this game, it feels extremely simple. There's the 4 different classes, 4 different play styles, and they just all feel very unique but very simple and very usable at the same time. There's not too big of a learning curve. You do have to put a fair amount of mental like power, I guess, towards the game. You have to be thinking a lot more than you would with Destiny, but I really enjoy just the simplicity of it. There aren't a ton of airplanes flying around and buildings crashing down like in other Battlefields, which is not something that I dislike. I actually really like that. But for this game, it just feels very simple and very nice to play. It's kind of like burgers, you know? A lot of burger places like Burger King and Jack in the Box, their menus are getting very big and very kind of like crowded and cluttered. There's so many things that I don't even order on the menu. If I do go to a Jack in the Box or I do go to a Burger King, it's the same thing every time, because like there's so many things to choose from that they lose value, right? There's not really a point in choosing them, because there's just you don't really have enough time to experiment with them, you know? Like if you go to In-N-Out, the only thing, you go in there, you know exactly what you're going to get. It's very simple. That's why people love it so much, is they have one thing that they focused on and they perfected it. So they have one style of burger, one recipe, and they just make sure that they do that as good as possible. So making sure that they have, you know, 8 to 10 very unique, very fun feeling weapons for every class is what has made this game very enjoyable for me. I really enjoy using medic, not so much for the healing role. You're going to watch my gameplay. For any like experienced Battlefield player, you're going to be very disappointed in me and probably very upset, because I don't really heal my teammates that often. The main reason why I use this class is I really like the beginning primary that you get, right? I guess in this game it's just the only weapon. So you have your primary and your handgun, and I just really enjoy it. I think it's like the Gewer something or another. I'm not quite sure, but I'm fairly certain it can fire full auto. I'm using it semi-auto here, but it just feels like a very, very fun weapon to use. It's a semi-auto, but at the same time, since it shoots so fast, you can contend with it at kind of like a short to medium-ish range, and it really rewards accuracy. So for a weapon that's not quite as accurate as like a long-range, slower firing weapon, if you can pace your shots and you kind of calculate like the bullet travel distance and all that, and you get kills, it feels like extremely rewarding. Compared to when you're playing Destiny, it feels really nice to have a game that like purely rewards gun skill. There's not a lot of vertical movement. There's not too much of a learning curve as to how the game actually plays out. If you played any FPS in the past, it's going to feel very familiar, unlike something like Destiny. The grenades aren't overpowered. There are no melees that do 1 billion damage. It's not 30 frames per second, 10 tick. It just feels like a very good game. And if you have good primary gun skill, you're going to get rewarded for it. And it's not like just pointing and shooting. There's a lot of different things like bullet travel distance, and it's kind of weird because with a console game, right, there comes aim assist. And when you're trying to shoot barely ahead of the person, it's very weird to have, you know, some sort of element pull you closer to the person's body. So you see a few clips where you just completely choke because you're trying to get a little bit ahead of the person, but the aim assist just like drags it back onto them. And that's probably my only complaint with it, is that it feels kind of weird when that happens. But for the most part, it's just like a super enjoyable game. The classes are fun. The game modes are a lot of fun. It's just very fun to play with friends is the biggest part. Me and Inspire would go in and just have like, you know, play for 2 to 3 hours, have a super good time. If you have good teamwork and you're like going back and forth and you're just running around like capping flags together, that's where the fun comes in. That's like the pure fun part of it. I don't really know where I'm going with this. The point of the video is saying that I love this game, and I would be more than happy to make a few videos for it. Obviously, this is a Destiny channel, and chances are this is the only Battlefield video I'm gonna make. I just kind of wanted to share what it looks like to you guys, and perhaps you might be interested in seeing a little bit more of it. Probably not, but I'll be back to the Destiny videos very shortly. I just have a lot of gameplay stored up, and I wanted to at least use one. I feel like it would be a shame if I went like, you know, a month playing the game and I had a good amount or a good build up of some pretty good gameplays, but never use them in a video. So if you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys are enjoying Battlefield 1, then drop a like down below. And why did I say that? Normally I like to never say that. I meant to say I'll see you guys in my next video. It will be a Destiny video, so don't freak out. And yeah, hope to see you guys in my next video. Peace.